y'all, this is Chris at Talon Gaming here for a running, jumping, slashing, and bloody review. Today we're going to be looking at Dying Light, released by Techland back in 2015. With all the buzz around the future release of the second installment in the series, I figured why not give the first game a go. Stick around, this one was a lot of fun. Dying Light is an open-world survival horror amidst a zombie virus outbreak. You play as an undercover agent named Kyle Crane who's been sent to infiltrate a quarantine zone in the fictional Middle Eastern city of Harran. While there, you're to find a rogue political figure named Suleiman who is damaging files about the agency you work for, the GRE. Dying Light offers single and cooperative play with up to 4 players as well as PvP play. There are even competitions within the campaign to compete against the Dying Light community. Tons of available DLC. Much of it is included in the Enhanced and the Ultimate Collection bundles. The DLC ranges from free soundtracks, ebooks, and wallpaper packs to paid expansions with an entirely new campaign and everything in between. The game is available for Windows, Mac, Linux, PS4, and the Xbox One. System requirements are quite low. Given the age of the game, most modern systems should be able to handle the game quite nicely. You will need about 40 gigs of hard drive space, a quad-core CPU, a discrete graphics card, and 8 gig of RAM is recommended. Check the video description for more details. There are about a dozen main aspects to the game. Let's break it down. The quarantine zone is pretty large and quite vertical, so you spend much of your time climbing, jumping, from rooftop to train, to van, to car, using parkour. It's pretty cool. Much of the combat is fist to mouth, foot to face, and using whatever weapons you can find and craft, including spiked baseball bats, police batons, and lengths of electrified pipe. Weapons have different ratings and you can only take so much abuse, and you can only repair them so often. You also run out of steam while attacking. A knife can be used to attack much quicker and easier while expending much less energy than, let's say, a sledgehammer. Traps are a unique way of disposing of enemies. Check this one out. You can craft and throw Molotovs, throwing stars, firecrackers, and even use your melee weapons as projectiles, causing massive damage to the infected. Scavenging for supplies and materials to craft new items, equipment, weapons, and upgrades is one of the mainstays of Dying Light. You better learn to pick locks. Any item you scavenge or craft can be sold for cash. You'll also find a wide assortment of weapons and equipment for sale. There are safe zones scattered throughout the map. Once you've secured them and turned on the power, they'll display in green. You can access your storage as well as your sleeping bag to rest for the day or night. Many of these places are shared with other survivors, so you can often buy, sell, or trade and pick up side missions.
You don't understand.
You'll run into random people on rooftops, in buildings, or encampments during your travels, which leads to more backstory and more potential missions or potential vital information to aid in survival. You'll also run into gang members and even survivors fighting for their life. Feel free to lend a hand. The game uses a day and night cycle. At night, you get double the points, but be prepared, all hell breaks loose. Really nasty critters come out to play after dark, and zombies are much more aggressive and persistent. There are 3 separate skill trees in Dying Light. The first one is Survivor, which includes storage, crafting, and social skills. The second is Agility, which affects stamina, speed, dodges, and using momentum and movement to damage the infected. Third is Power for damage dealing, attack skills, and throws. Your skills unlock and level up by using the skills associated with each tree, so make sure to keep busy to unlock new skills. Antizin is the lifeline for many of those in Harran, as many are infected and need medication to keep the infection at bay. You'll be searching and fighting for Antizin throughout the game. Last but not least, airdrops. Airdrops release supplies and medication from the air for those trapped inside the quarantine zone. These are very valuable and sought after by thugs, gangs, and the like, so get to them quick.
Get to those crates before anyone else does.
Let's talk about graphics. The textures are detailed and the animations are smooth. Cutscenes look great and flow well with the game. The environment is massive, detailed, and interactive. There's a lot to see here. I got physically stuck a few times and noticed the minor artifacting, but nothing detrimental to the experience a few curse words won't solve. Sound effects are good and reasonably accurate. The constant background noises, survivors and zombies moving about, and screams of terror provide a real sense of immersion. There's also a constant environmental noise, wind in the brush and trees and such. And let's not forget about the conversations going on between NPC characters throughout the game. The music is mostly ambience, helping to set the mood. It's not fantastic, but I'm okay with that since there's so much else going on in the game.
Jesus Christ. You people are...
Voice acting is good in most cases, but it can still be a bit of a mixed bag. When it comes down to it, there's nothing really here to complain about unless you really want to nitpick. At the heart of things, this is a simple run-of-the-mill zombie outbreak. Nothing really special here. But beyond that, there's plenty going on all around you. The main character has been sent to investigate Suleiman, competing factions, double-crossing warlords, random encounters with other survivors, the fight for airdrops and Annie's End, dozens of side quests, and a fairly lengthy main storyline. There's certainly enough story here to keep things interesting.
to me.
This game is a lot of fun, fast-paced action, the climbing, the chases, and the fight for survival, crafting weapons and equipment, setting traps, and so much more make the game both exciting and full of variety. I found the controls took a bit of time to get used to. Most games don't have environments that you can explore to the same extent. There's a real sense of 3 dimensions here with the ability to explore vertically. Once you get used to them, they're fine. Just have a good look at the key mappings first to familiarize yourself. I had a good time with Dying Light. There's easily 50 hours of content here, even if you decided not to look at any of the side quests. Once you factor in the co-op and PvP play, you can easily double your time spent in game. The city's quite large too, so there's plenty to explore. The game may be getting older now, but don't let that take anything away from the experience. It's still good looking visually, the sound is great, the story is good, and the game is quite immersive, and not the first-person shooter type game you'll typically find. If you're into dismembering zombies, survival horror, parkour, or just looking for something apart from the usual FPS adventures, this one is a clear winner. You'll even find it on sale from time to time at steep discounts, making the choice a no-brainer. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, help us out by smashing the like button and leaving a comment to tell us what you thought. This is Chris from Talon Gaming. Signing out.